Just like I'm just wondering, tomorrow, Pio is going to court, and we're already streaming.
All right, he needs to turn it off for now so that we finish now.
We're already live, so.
Okay, let's leave it then. Cool.
Welcome each and every one of us here today. It's another day, and it's good to reiterate that. You see, I was somewhere today at an Army Resource Center as a resource person, and it was quite fascinating to see that some young people still do not understand the connect in terms of energy. Now, energy can neither be destroyed nor created. Energy can only be converted from one form to another. What that means is that the evolution of things are always going to keep changing. And if we get used to that, and what do I mean by that? Just to keep it within the context of our protest and discussion. The way campaign is a protest in context, but campaign is what you do before the elections. Now, the 1 million march rally was a protest, but is an activity that you carry out before the campaigns. Yeah. And so if you understand those energies, now post-election protest is also protest. Do you know that going to court is a protest? Because you are saying that I do not agree with the status quo. So you're fighting against the status quo. That's why you go to court. So going to court is a protest. Yes, venting out, defending, whatever we do, they are all forms of protest. You know, that's what protest is. You know, so campaign is a protest. Going to court is a protest. 100 million march is a protest. As a matter of fact, whatever you do to raise people's consciousness is a form of protest. So it's an energy that takes different forms because of the timeline. You know, we couldn't campaign during the 1 million march because campaign hasn't started. And so we had to drop all the flags of the parties until campaign started. Now, when campaign started, you could now wear your party uniforms. After the elections are done, the energy is the same, but it keeps what? It keeps changing because it cannot be destroyed nor created, but can only be converted from one form to another. And so if you understand that, you can see clearly that the EndSARS energy is the obedient energy. It is the energy that speaks and counters or fight for a new Nigeria. It's just an energy. And that's why you couldn't warehouse that energy in any political parties. And even PO was called several times because people couldn't understand why he, even though adopted the Labour Party, but is standing for a particular energy. That energy is competence. That energy is consistency. That energy is capacity. That energy is the power that always transcends and wants newness. That's the power that we are still at play with. Even if, irregardless of who becomes Nigeria's president, that power cannot be stopped. That energy cannot be stopped. When PO becomes president, that power is going to hold PO to account. This is the beauty of the energy. And so if we understand that energy also has something, it's also a spirit. And we can see the campaigns were huge. The 1 million march was huge. Anytime you don't have something that has the potency of that energy, know what? Something is wrong. And so we will have to do all that we have to do to organize that energy, because that's the only thing that is going to give us a win. That's what's going to give us a win, you know. And so it's important to understand, what do we do? Because right now, the court sittings and sessions are already there. And we have been protesting and fighting against people who wouldn't come out. Do you know why we take our protest to people who wouldn't come out? Because if they don't come out, they will undermine us. If people don't come out, they're going to undermine us. It's important for people to come out. If we don't have large number of people coming out, guess what? It's like the apathy that greeted the gubernatorial election. Once we don't have people come out in mass, they undermine our collective capacity. And that's why we have been so angry over the people who have not been coming out. That's why we're angry. Because if you don't come out, you're going to undermine us. If you don't come out to protest, you're going to undermine us. If you don't come out to vote, we are going to lose the election. If you don't come out to do 1 million march, how do we raise the consciousness for a new Nigeria? And so anything that seeks to divide us, we have to do all that we can, you know, to ensure that we don't allow that to happen, because it will undermine our internal integrity. So we have to fight it. However, we must understand when energy is changing, and that is where it becomes very critical. Because if we don't understand when the energies are changing, then we're going to have a serious problem. As it is right now, and I'm going to say it the way it is, that the energy that we have at play right now, we must organize, because court sitting is not just about agitation. It is organized. We must organize. We must go beyond just the ability to be able to what? To mobilize. We must organize. We must go beyond advocacy to organize. Because once we can organize, oh yeah, we can call to action. So that's my explanation, and that's my protest today, to say that if we must win, it doesn't matter whether you like my beards or not, we must work together. It doesn't matter if you like my religion or not, we must work together. Because together we win, together we stand. And we must do everything to ensure that we work together. Because working together is what will give us that win. So I'd like to welcome each and every one of you, Mr. Monday Danja. Welcome, Indeed. Welcome, Chi. Welcome. Tese, as always, welcome. Happy Prince, good to see you here, as always. And Justin, you're here. We're going to speak truth to power today and understand that our protest is also taking another route. So if you're speaking today, speak truth to power to what connects us, even as we speak against what's going on that is bad. It's unfortunate that I cannot call names here, but guess what? Our enemies are not sleeping, in the words of Ndidi. They're not sleeping. They're working day and night. We are here protesting, they are working. And so it's painful when you see our people, you see, and they are so united. They are organized in committing crimes. They come together, they pull their resources together to cause damage. We have to come together. We must agree beyond our opinions. We have to agree, because that's the only way we're going to win. Oh yeah, that's the only way we're going to win. And we have to win anyway. We have to win. We must win. So I welcome each and every one of you. Of course, I wouldn't just gloss over things to just protest, but to also bring the issues from our platform to discuss it and also be able to protest and move forward. There's a unity of purpose that we must drive, because as you speak, tomorrow is coming. And so we're asking, how many of us are going to be out? Guess what? If 20 or 30 or 100 of us are going to be out for a presidential court hearing, my sisters, my brothers, my comrade, it's not worth it. It is better we don't come out. If we must come out, we're not coming out to show our face. We're not coming out to register. We are coming out to intimidate. We're coming out to win. Coming out to win. We're coming out to shut the city down. Let's recount. Do you know why Martin Luther King was killed? He was killed because they were shutting the city down. Mandela was in prison because he was shutting the city down. You saw when George Floyd died. Oh, let's go back and look at all the revolutions happening around Africa, from Libya to Egypt to all the places. They had to shut the place down. People, if we cannot come out in mass, then we are joking. It is not a protest. It is not a revolution. I need us to understand that without mincing words. Yeah. So I'm taking my protest to lack of unity, of cohesion. I'm taking my protest tonight to lack of mass, lack of shutting the city down. We've shut the city down for days, and anything that is going to lead us to not shutting the city down, it is much useful for us to continue speaking truth to power online than to have just a handful of people on the streets, because it will be of non-effect. But like we say, if you have any superior argument, shoot, protest. It's about anger, but it must be objective and decisive. Who is there to shoot? If you're here tonight, please, let's hear you. It's all about protests. It's all about sharing opinions, but it's about moving the nation forward. What are you angry about? Let's talk. Who is ready to go? Indeed, shoot.
Oh, Dr. Mo. Oh. Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, my comrades, my fellow comrades. I salute each and every one of you. As always, we have Joe, we have Chi, we have Monday, Samson, Happy Prince, Justin, my brother, Jenje Media, and who else is here? I think I've missed one person, Emmy. Thank you very much for coming out today again tonight. I just came to our protest platform and saw what the conversation that was going on tonight, and I'm going to actually protest about it. I'm going to protest because it looks like we are directing our anger inwards. That's what we are doing. We are fighting ourselves, but it's a good thing as well, because we are doing it in a contained environment where you can come out and speak and talk about the issues that you think are frustrating for you, because sometimes it becomes overwhelming. So this is I was happy in a way that we had it in a contained environment, that we're not out there fighting amongst ourselves. That would have been very, very interesting. Free Nigeria movement out there fighting amongst themselves. That would have been a very, very good article to write about. So having said that, I'm also very, very happy as well that some of us went out yesterday. It was yesterday, wasn't it? And I do appreciate each and every one of you. Yesterday, I was saying how unhappy I was that I couldn't come with you. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. And I do appreciate everyone that went out yesterday. But the struggle continues. When we have things that we need to learn from, because we're constantly learning and changing, the only thing that is constant is change. So we'll keep learning and progressing. We're not moving back. All these guys that you see that have their knees, I keep using this term, knees on our necks. These people keep going back and strategizing and re-strategizing and coming out and fighting us. So each time they go, they become like viruses, and they mutate and come out more dangerous. And that's what we must learn. We must learn from these people. We must learn how to do their fights as well, how they organize themselves and reorganize themselves and come out to be very, very strong and able to destroy whatever is on their way. That's what we should be focusing on. And by doing, I mean, we can go ahead and curse and be angry and shout ourselves and swear. But it's also good because you're letting out your anger. But it's also good to divert this anger and frustration towards the people that are our enemies, because we don't have any enemies amongst us. We don't. We are all comrades fighting the same demons, fighting all those people that are there to collapse our country. So that's what we need to do. We need to be organized. We need to, even if some people even, the reason why we have spies on this planet is because they send them to their enemies' camps to find out how they do their thing, so that they bring back these important messages to make their own camp stronger. So even if that's what we need to do, the last thing we need to do is to start eating ourselves. No, we can't do that. This is not the time. We need to be stronger. We need to have that, you know, to be so cohesive that it's actually frightening to those other our enemies. That's what we must project. We must project external strength. When we are out there, that's what we need to project, that we are strong enough to fight them. So this is my protest tonight. I just want us to work cohesively, to be together no matter what. It doesn't matter what we are going through. I know it's very, very frustrating, especially knowing that the 29th of May is just around the corner. It is very frustrating for me as well, that we need to continue this race. It is a marathon. Face will hold one of them responsible and accountable for whatever they are doing with us. So
absolutely.
Thank you. I yield my mic.
All right. Thank you. So let's face our enemies squarely now. We're done with Inside House. Joel Oche, please take your protest. Let's shoot right away. Let's move it.
Thank you so much, great co-host, and every other comrade that made it to the platform this evening. My protest tonight is against the status quo that has kept us where we are in this country. As a nation that is blessed with both human and natural resources, it is enough for us, having blessed by the God that created both heaven and earth. It is enough for us by this time that you should be among the leading countries. We are a sixth world country in the planet today. Nothing is working, nothing is moving. To hit the nail on the head, I would like to quickly remind us about what it used to be in Nigerian system and also administration. Far back in the time memorial, when the system was a bit okay, the recruitment process, nobody get it, but nobody buy appointment letter. They were all on what we call, if it is in terms of federal government job, it is all about Federal Character Commission. And then they streamline it down to local government. But as I speak today, all of these things have been hijacked. If you don't have any person in government with your first class, whatsoever you are just roaming on the street suffering. That's now remind me to call on Nigerian youth to think inwardly. Let us not allow ourselves to be used by these people anymore. Let us come together and unite than ever before. Form a formidable force against these people. Look at how it is now. Killing on every side. Nobody is safe. And last 2 years, 2 generals were killed in Kaduna Barrack, and nothing happened to them. One of them is a director in charge of hospital, and then is a lab scientist from South. Nothing happened. And another man from Southeast, nothing happened. And both of them are the rank of Brigadier General. Why in barrack, for instance, such things take place? Who else again is safe? And they are not just rank and file officers. They are all officers with security that guard them 24/7. Nobody is safe in this country. Nigerian youth, don't allow yourself to be used. Again, I want to reiterate on what I am seeing as the falling standards of education in Nigeria. It's all about this status quo. It's all about this status quo, because you could say a senior professor in the department, because it's not from a catchment or a resident or a community where the university is situated, nothing for him. Or if it is not of a faith, a dominant faith within that university environment, nothing for him. All of these things are the causes of fallings of standard education in this country. Look at what we are experiencing today, poverty. It also boils down to this status quo. Few people hijack everything to the detriment of the masses. They hijack economy, they hijack politics, they hijack everything, and then the masses are left with nothing. Until we fight and remove this social order, nothing will move in this country. Look at also hunger everywhere, because aliens have taken over the forest. Farmers can no longer go to farm and farm. These are the causes. The status quo needs to be changed. Few number of persons that come from the sixth geopolitical zone have hijacked this country over time. So not something needs to be done, and this is the time for it to be done. And it cannot be achieved by just a divided house. It must be achieved by concentrated and also coordinated house. That has to do with Nigerian youth from all the six geopolitical zones. I speak right now to every Nigerian youth, wherever you are residing. Don't allow yourself to be used. They use you and dump you. It is high time for us to stand for justice, stand for equity, and stand for fairness. Look at disease. Nigeria is a home of disease. Despite our intelligence, despite our prowess, despite our progress in education, despite our progress in areas of medicine, nothing is working. Corruption have shattered away everything. Understand? They keep on sending money from USAID, sending money from EU, sending money from Australia government to alleviate us on mental health issues, HIV, malaria, yet nothing. People are dying on a daily basis. And they always say about life expectancy. It's very, very painful. 52. That is very painful for a largest and populated African nation. Is just life expectancy 52 years. It's very sorrowful. I call again on Nigerian youth. I have been interacting with them. It is very pitiable for some of them. They say that it is over. It is not over until it is over. We have to take the bull by the horn. And this is the time. Let us unite than ever before, irrespective of your religion. Don't allow religion to manipulate you. Don't allow ethnicity to manipulate you. Let us come. If you don't deal with this mess, in fact, we are in for it. We are in for it. If armies are being killed, then what's left for you civilians that have no protection? This is our protection. If we get it right today, the problem of this country, it is nothing but governance. Governance vis-a-vis leadership, bad leadership. Anywhere you go within this country, former what's it called, Libyan governor Sanusi has said in 2008 in Zaria that the Nigerians know the problem of this country and then they know the solution to it, but they refuse to address it. And quite a number of people have been saying it. He says it's leadership. He summarizes his speech that is leadership in Congo Conference Hotel of Ahmadu Bello University. I was there. He says it's leadership. And then we must do away with this issue of bad governance, this issue of bad leadership. How can we address it? This is the foundation. This is the way. We must enthrone legitimate governance by our electoral process. I therefore call on INEC to ensure that they re-announce the re-honor or the winner of elections of 25th May 2023. Again, I also call on judiciary, the judges handling these election petitions issues. Everything is clear to us. In fact, today I got a very fantastic record that comprises of all scores of every party that participated in last presidential election. I am not being biased in this statement. From what I saw, Labour Party is leading, followed by APC. So let us go by that. It is also before the judiciary, both at the tribunal and the Supreme Court. So I urge tribunal and Supreme Court to do the needful at this critical time. Nigeria is at the moment that we need justice, fair, and also accountability. Why am I sounding like this? Because I love this country. I don't want Nigeria to be divided. I am sounding like this because I am a progressive Nigeria. I like our diversity. Our diversity is our strength. Our diversity is just like tissues in body system. When you remove it, it becomes skeletal. So if we divided into various regions, no strength, no power, Nigeria will go to, all of us will go out of the history of this, history of the world. That is why I am sounding like this evening. Professor from university, please lend your voice. Professor of political science, who always tell lies after election, this is a time for you to lend your voice. It will earn you international respect. Judges, it will earn you international respect. This is time for every one of us to lend our voice. Medical doctor, you are there always complaining that bad leadership and all of that. You can imagine promotion in Nigerian system are also bastardized, are all along religious line. We don't want it anymore. And then the foundation, the breeding ground for all of these things is bad governance. It is my own. It is my turn. Therefore now summarize that together we will build this nation. Together, we will move from strength to strength. Together, we will recover a mandate for all Nigeria. I am not recovering it for myself, neither our chief host, Dr. Mo Ndidi, and then the rest of us. But we are recovering it for every person who wants.
Comrade, I think your network.
To turn Nigeria. Now, in summary, it's a call. In summary, judiciary, listening and listening very well. It is not going to be a business as usual. Enough is enough. Even judiciary, you should also learn a lesson. Last 3 years, your promotion system has been bastardized by illegitimate government in place. The former Chief Justice of Nigeria was not the way, was removed. And the MBA, NADA, whosoever, if it is legitimately in process that the president in March, then MBA and also Nigeria Judicial Commission should also have their autonomy in that aspect. But they couldn't. Their hands are tied. So it is a lesson for you. Do just what is right, and also you get a right thing. Every person in this country, please let us uphold the tenets of democracy, which says it is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, and the majority carry the vote. and the majority have did their own wonderfully well. So what is remaining? What is remaining now is declaration of whosoever that won the last presidential election. The evidence and everywhere. If you have, you fought it. If you don't have, then hold your peace and celebrate with those that have done it. Thank you so much, and may God bless us. We look forward to see judiciary as the lay a foundation for good governance in Nigeria and Africa soil. God bless us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joel Oche. Oh my goodness. If we allow you, you speak for 20 hours, which is fine because you're on point, you're venting rightly, you're speaking to the issues. I mean, thank you. Thank you. Chi, are you there? Chi, let's roll it.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Okay. He feels he can use money to get whatever he wants in a nation, irrespective of anything. You know, we have a presidential elect who feels his money can give him what he didn't, get rightly. And that's where we are today. How a presidential elect who has a court case was sending somebody to go and represent him in court. Why, when he's alive? I don't know where that is done in the world, in any part of the world. But what we are seeing today, hurts so badly that things are not done the right way. Everybody is celebrating nonsense. Everybody is just hoping to just be there. May 29th, let it come so we can go share the money. Things continue the same way. How long will we continue like this? On Sunday, I was going out. A guy was trying to cross the road. When you are coming from Kubwa to town, when you're going to town from Kubwa, the pedestrian bridge stopped at Katankwe Extension, Owando. From that place till you get to Nikon Junction, no pedestrian bridge. And then you see people trying to cross to the other side of the road to board vehicle to Suleja or any other place. The people driving are not even slowing down for them to cross. And that's how this car picked this guy and he landed and died instantly. And so why? They said that they didn't give them money to fix those pedestrian bridge, but it's just as they did the ones they wanted to do and pocketed the remaining money for the other ones. And nobody is questioning anybody. People just do what they like. You give them money for contracts, the roads are bad. Nobody cares. Nobody is monitoring the activities and things are just going bad. But one thing I know is that if we get it right this time, Nigeria will be better. We can't continue to be mocked like this every time. Everybody does what they like. How can a presidential elect, believe that you paid 40 judges to come and defend you in court, and then you are not in court, and you are planning to travel out? That's if he has not gone already. So what are we trying to do? And INEC is there. They are not even saying anything about it. We still have judge, and if Senator Adele, if he can win the case at the Supreme, that's everything the opposition party did to take his to take his power away from him. He still won at the Supreme Court today, and he's being celebrated. So it means that even with what is going on right now on the presidential election, the judges can do it right. Nigerian judges, I believe you have the fear of God. If you want to do the right thing, you will do it. The only thing is that some of you, get bribed, and because of that money, you refuse to do the right thing. Money blinds the eyes of so many judges, and that's why people give injustices all over the country, because money can buy anything. But the judges should also know that we know where they are, we know where their children are. Wherever they keep their children in the world, people know them. Nigerian politicians know that your children, wherever your children are in the world, everybody know where they are. So don't think that this time you can do anything and get away with it. Nigerians are alert. We just want the right thing to be done, power to be given to the right person. The evidence are there to prove that, to show us who won. The evidence are there to prove who won the election. So you can't even play with it or try to tell us another story. We know what is going on and we are following it up. So we want to beg the judges again, do the right thing. Today I saw Pastor Debo, sorry I have to call his name, but I'm hot because these are people who look at as spiritual fathers. You look at them as elders in the Lord, and then you are endorsing a Muslim ticket as a pastor, and you are telling Nigerians to relax and leave it, that Tinubu will do the right thing, that God will help Tinubu to repair Nigeria. Abba, Papa, study your Bible now, the same Bible you preach from. How does God deal with people, prophets who don't stand to defend the truth? I was so hot today when I saw that. And you are a father in the Lord, you are a spiritual father, and you are telling your congregations to accept Muslim tickets. Then when your members start converting to Islam, what happens? Because if nothing is done, we'll get to a point where people will have to convert to Islam to eat. I know we have Muslim brethren here, but please don't be angry with us. It's just that we want fairness. We have Muslims in Nigeria, we have different religions, and it's very, very unfair for one particular religion to be in charge of leadership in a nation as big as Nigeria. Because I know that if it's a Christian ticket that we are celebrating today, other religions, including the Muslims, will not be happy about it.
Yes.
So if you're, pardon me, we just need to do the right thing, please. So we beg them, fathers in the Lord that should stand and tell the truth are quiet and they are not saying anything. And you are telling us to accept what was done, even though you know it's wrong. It's not fair on Nigerians. We want a better Nigeria. Like I said, I always say, we don't want a Nigeria where criminality will be legalized, where people will do what they want. The other day I was reading on social media yesterday, a woman killed her own child for the son for rituals for the son. The son ventured into Yahoo business. She took her own son to herbalist to get jazz to prosper in Yahoo business. And the only option is to kill the daughter. And she succeeded in killing that child. For them to finalize the ritual, police arrested them. And that's how the boy started spilling how the mom took him to herbalist to go and do stuff. But we shouldn't get to this point where Yahoo becomes business. Instead of youth to think of how to better their life, it's how to get jazz, to swindle people. This is not the Nigeria we want. Because the time will come that even the politicians, they themselves, you think you are in a safe place. You have the security men all around you. You walk around with up to 10 security. But mind you that a time will come, if things are not done well, even your security will not protect you. They will not save you from what is coming. Because even they themselves will be fighting for their own lives. And so the earlier we do the right thing, the better. Nigeria is not the same again. I know that some of you still feel it's the same. It's not. And the youths are awake. The youths have risen to take over. And there's nothing you can do about it than to adjust and do the right thing. I saw the Oba of Osun telling people to move it. Really? A royal father? And you want people to respect your authority? Is that how you govern your people or rule your people in your community? We don't want that kind of leadership. And that's why we say, no, we want things to be done right. You go abroad and you see how things are done there. You see how the politicians are sanctioned when they commit crimes. Why is it that is in Nigeria that politicians walk away with anything? Everybody have immunity on them. Nobody can do anything. Even when they are wrong, they are protected. It can't continue like that. So we beg you, Nigerians, we beg you, our leaders, we beg you, judges, rise up and do the needful. Defend the cause of the Nigerian people. Everybody came out and voted for their choice. Let the people have their choice leader. Don't fail Nigerians this time. You are the only hope Nigerians have. And if you fail, the cost of whatever happens must come on you and your children. You will not escape it. We can't continue this way. And we beg you to do the right thing. Nigeria deserves better. We deserve better. Rwanda of yesterday is better than Nigeria. We deserve better. Ghanaians were made in Nigeria, but today Ghanaians are driving Nigeria away from their country. Ghanaians of yesterday. And the giant of Africa is sleeping because some politicians and a few people, a few cabal, like they call themselves, have decided to play chess on a country as big as this. We beg Nigerians, Nigerian youth, let's not sleep anymore. It's time to wake up and take our place. Nigeria belongs to us. Nigeria belongs to the people. Nigeria doesn't belong to politicians. We need to rise up and take our place and defend our land. Thank you all and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you. Tessy.
Okay, thank you very much. Once again, thank you everyone, and those that are doing the right thing, sacrificing, doing the protest, both online and physical protest. I want to appreciate everyone. Every day, being a Nigerian, whether home and abroad, it's anger upon anger upon anger upon anger, disappointment upon disappointment, disappointment. It's really, really bad to be in a country where the rule of law has taken the back seat. Corruption, criminality, and bad behavior, it's rewarded. Why the just and the just people, or the people that obeys the law, are punished. Dr. Moore, in his opening remarks, said that the enemy is working and working and working while we are taking the back seat. And he is right. This we already know. I mentioned it also many times. Because the enemy is not sleeping. They are working, bribing every person they can bribe that has allowed themselves to be bribed. People like the Ooni of Ife. How can a king, a monarch of that stature, a young man for that matter, this man has been a canvasser in the last few years of the young people taking over the leadership of Nigeria. This man has been a supporter of not too young to run bill, has been a converser for a change in the Nigerian political structure. But today, the same man, all of a sudden, it's coming now to come and tell people accept in fact, even calling candidates Atiku and Peter Obi supporters to accept a Tinubu and let's move on. What has become of our nation? We're royal fathers that are like the fathers of everyone, irrespective of whether it is an Ooni of Ife, it's a royal father and a father to all Nigerians. But today, they have sold their conscience, and money speaks, and their conscience take the back seat. Today, Kenya, the same Kenya that people were behind them when when the how do you say, the cabas in the Kenyan government didn't want them to come to power. They said that they went to court and they won through the court. That's the same Kenya of just yesterday are the one putting mouth and interfering in Nigeria. The president of Kenya congratulating Tinubu and sending a delegation to this same Oni of Ife. And on that same day of that visit, they re-echoed what their president said, and then the Oni of Ife coming out to tell people to move on. How can you move on? I don't understand that this act of just move on. How can you move on without justice? How can you move on without the right thing doing, to be seen done? You cannot just say that an ill thing or an evil that has been done, you just cover it like a book, and then you just move on like that. I don't understand. So where is justice? Do they think that just because you cover the book and move on, then evil will stop? No. By covering and moving on, it means that you endorse that and it will happen and happen again. And this is the problem of Nigeria. Anytime that evil is done in the country, we are those that need to stand up and the people will queue behind them. Just imagine if this election that have been stolen, if how Sultan of Sokoto stood up there in the north to speak against this, if Oni of Ife in the southwest stood up, if whatever Igwe of in the southeast stood up, and the people, the people in the middle belt stood up all unanimously to condemn this, it would have made much difference. But no, all of them are okay, let's move on. How long we have been moving on since how many years? What has been the result? The same thing. And they are regrouping. Imagine in a country where somebody like Akpabio that did not win did not contest any election, but was handed over judgment by the same court, Nigerian judiciary. Today, Akpabio is the endorsed. That is to tell you the impunity and the criminality in Nigeria. Somebody that did not even contest election at all. They stage managing, and through the court, they gave him the mandate. Today, they are canvassing, selecting him, the same criminal organization, APC, selecting him as the candidate of Senate. How can somebody, a criminal like Akpabio, we all knew what happened with NDDC. What happened to the probe? Buried under the ground. We know what happened even when he lost the other time. They brought him up, they brought him again, even when he did not even contest election. And they want to put him as a Senate president to be another rubber stamp to a drug baron. That is how bad our situation has become. Another one, the criminal in the north, in Kano, that killed 15 people, was arrested. How can you, in the same country, this is an offense that he cannot even get bail. They gave him bail because there was an election he was participating in. Oh, Nigeria, magically, he won again. The same evil man is talking, he's fighting to be a speaker of Nigerian House of Representatives. Oh my God, Nigeria has become a scene where criminals has no shame. They just want to hold on to power, and our royal fathers, all the people that we thought they know better, are the ones galvanizing. All our religious leaders have gone to silence, have gone to slumber. And now, only all what we hear is the voice. Let's go on, let's move on. Let's move on. A case is in the court that in fact, they have started hearing it. And what you hear from these people is that let us move on. It is a subtle message given to the judiciary that, oh, we have unanimously agreed to move on. We say, no, we are not moving on. The Nigerian people will say we are not moving on because the Oni of Ife, the government pay all their bills, they take care of them, they feed them. All the people that are saying move on are the beneficiaries of this evil. But we that are the receivers of this evil, we say no. And we must fight with evil with the last drop of our blood. Thank you.
Hey, I couldn't even talk just listening to you. So anytime when I say, go to court. Okay, now the thing be that, go to court means move on. You see, yeah? They say, you see the revelation that you just revealed now. So anytime they tell you to go to court, they're just telling you to move on. Just go. That's what it means.
Exactly. That is what it means. Move on. Because when we
yes, I concur.
So, in fact, this has to be, we have to put this on a placard. Go to court, move on.
Yes.
Telling Nigerians to move on.
Move on. Go to court. Go to court. Move on. I know we do that. Yes. You do that to dogs and animals. Hey, get out. Go to court. Move on. That's the manner. Anyway, Fortunatus will take you as the last speaker. Go ahead. We will not tell you to move on or go ahead, you know, or go to court. But please speak to human beings. Speak to us.
It's so unfortunate in this country.
It's so bad.
Even if the royal father who calls himself Ooni of Ife, I know he's a beneficiary of drug money. He's a beneficiary of evil money. He's a beneficiary of court money. Ooni of Ife. We know him. Forget all these things. They are circle. They are circle. But I'm surprised. I'm more surprised at Adeboye for making such a statement. A man who calls people out every Sunday and asks them to surrender their life to God is trying to cement evil and allow us to live as Nigerians for 4 years or 8 years under the leadership of evil. I'm highly ashamed. Is it not better he kept quiet than coming out to spew rubbish? For crying out loud. Nigeria deserves better. And Nigerians deserve better. What kind of a country is this? Men of God coming out to cement evil, to cultivate evil. Royal fathers coming out to cultivate evil, to cement evil, allow us to grow on the under the evil presidents. Evil. What kind of a country is this? Have they not taken instance of what happened in Kenya? That after the election that was marred with irregularity, people stood their ground, they went to court in an open deliberation, and they ruled against that evil corrupt election and gave the person who actually won the election his mandate. And they rejoiced. So why can't that happen in Nigeria? We cannot accept this, and we will never accept it. Nigeria must be laid on a foundation of free justice and fairness. We must be governed by leadership, right leadership, under the right framework, so that we can grow and prosper as Nigerians. We are not moving on. We are not moving on under evil spell. We are not moving on under evil leadership. We are not moving on under corrupt leadership. We Nigerians are saying no to moving on. We are saying no to moving on under evil leadership. We are saying no to moving on under corrupt leadership. We are saying no to moving on under leadership of drug baron. Over 200 million Nigerians, and you are not putting our interests at heart. You are not putting the interests of the roaming millions of youths that are unemployed. You're crying out loud. We Nigerians, we have a constitution and we have our electoral provisions that say this is how things ought to be done. And Nigeria released so much money to get these things done in this manner. And somebody come along the line and thwarted it. And you want us to accept that? What is the sense of spending billions of naira to get things right in Nigeria? Would the whole money go down the drain as a waste? So what is the essence of even calling people to go and register and obtain their voters card? What is the essence of having an electoral education and asking people to come out and vote? What is the essence of telling us that our vote counts? When after every 4 years election comes, you spend billions of naira, encourage people to come out and vote, and at the end of the day, you will select an individual and ask us to move on. May God forbid that kind of moving on. May God forbid that kind of moving on. If we need to move on, we will move on under right leadership. We will move on under a leadership that we came out and vote for. We must come out, we must move on under a quality leadership, a credible leadership, a competent leadership, a leadership that understands the perils and sufferings of the people, a leadership with focus, vision, and direction. Not somebody who doesn't even have a blueprint of what he wants to do for us. Not somebody who will endanger our life. Because as far as I'm concerned, once this corrupt entity are allowed to take the space of leadership in Nigeria, we have lost our respect in the Committee of Nations. We have lost our dignity. And I'll be on the airplane and somebody will tell me your president is a drug lord. So what responsibility do you have? What kind of nonsense is all this? So we must not move on. We must move out to the streets from tomorrow and tell them, no, enough is enough. Then we get this right in Nigeria. Thank you all and God bless.
What a way to end it tonight. We must all move out to the streets. We must all be smart. We must all do what we must do. We must all stay together. We must all be united. We're not moving forward. We're moving out. We're not going to court. We're moving out. We're speaking out. We're yelling out. This is what we must do. This is what we must do. This is how we will conclude today. You know, there's no better way to have ended it than this corporate fortune. That's done. I'm going to make this announcement on our platform immediately now. So for those of you who are there, kindly endeavor that we go back to the platform because this is being recorded for the public. We'll go back to the platform and make the announcement for what must happen tomorrow. If you're ready, place your hands on your chest and open your microphone as we say, as we pledge to Nigeria today, after the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I pledge to Nigeria, my country.
Faithful and honest. To
Serve Nigeria
with all my strength.
To defend
high unity, honor, and glory. So
What a day. Apt. Every word was on point. Good night. Let's get to the platform and just do a quick discussion as we go. Good night and God bless you from here.
Hello, before we go, Chief Post, I'm suggesting that we should drop our Twitter account so that we'll be following each other. Then when we tweet to someone, we retweet and all of that, and make it very difficult for them, these critical moments.
Thank you. Let's go to the platform and drop it and follow each other. Thank you. Monday, Danja, you couldn't speak today, but tomorrow we'll be up here. Good night and God bless you.
Very good night.
Good night. Good night, Dr. Mo, everyone here. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.